on Facebook soon. So cool. So what's up, Dean? What's up, Got Press? Welcome to the live. You guys are just joining the live. I go live every day for you guys at 8 p.m. Central Time. That's kind of like my thing. I just want to make sure this is all adjusted for YouTube. And then live on Facebook. What up, Got Press? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So, welcome to the great Sunday. Christmas is right around the corner, right? Christmas is right around the corner. We're very close to that. So I hope you guys are really excited about that. This is usually my, sorry guys, I'm still kind of getting set up. Hi, how are you feeling today? I'm feeling better. Jocelyn, remember yesterday? Oh my gosh, yeah, so if you guys weren't here yesterday on the live, yeah, I was doing a bunch of sneezing and stuff. Allergies were real bad. So Jocelyn, you're so cool for asking about that. That is so dope. Yeah, I'm feeling much better. Thank you for asking about that. Oh snap. Yeah, what up, mate? What up, Mark by Joe? Hi. Gosh, Jocelyn, I'm gonna give you a follow for that because that's so cool. You asked how I was doing. That's so cool. We're friends now. So if you follow me, I just followed you back. Thank you. Oh, thank you. That was so cool for you to ask that. I don't know what was going. Aloha from Hawaii. I don't know what was going on yesterday, but I was like, and it got worse when I got off the line. I'm so glad I got off at the time I did because it got. Oh my gosh! I bet the neighbors were like, "What the heck's going on over there?" Bro? I don't know. I just ended up sleeping it off. But yeah, I feel better. But yeah, guys, Chris. So thank you for asking that Jocelyn. That really means a lot. I was like, wait, what exactly? Yeah, guys. Well, thank you for coming back. And I feel so bad I had to cut the live short yesterday. We were just getting into it. But yeah, just real quick intro. My name's Duke. Hi, I am an enrolled agent, and I'm also an advanced QuickBooks Pro advisor. And I'm a small business owner. I'm an entrepreneur, just like you guys watching this right now. So, we're all kind of in the same boat here. That's why I feel like we can all get along. This is kind of like I dedicate this part of the day, 8 p.m. Central Time, just to take care of you guys. And I appreciate everyone who continues to come here daily. I do this daily for you guys, just to help you really stress less about your taxes and help you get started with your business. I do own a tax firm. I'm located in Dallas, Texas. I typically help, anywhere between small business owners and entrepreneurs and self-employed people with their QuickBooks or just helping them save on taxes. Really, my plans going forward is to really go into tax planning. If you guys are familiar in that, it's just really just specializing only in figuring out ways to help your clients save money. So that's kind of like my goals going forward, especially for 2021. That's kind of like what I want to focus on. I kind of want to like shy away from the QuickBooks a little bit or delegate that to somebody else, maybe hire an employee or outsource that work. But I really just want to go all in on tax planning, at least for 2021. That's kind of my goals. Yesterday, before I started like having an allergy attack, there was one question. I think one question I didn't follow, and I don't even know who asked it, but they were pretty much asking like, "Hey, is work study considered income?" And I did research, and then so yes, it is. So if you're back from yesterday, that was the question from yesterday that I know I said I didn't know, but I just wanted to follow up with you guys. I always appreciate the insight. Thank you, Dean, for continue to come in. Self-care always first. Absolutely, Jocelyn. We're friends now, so it sounds so cool. Do you know if after doing the DBA, I need to apply for a business license? So you want to check with your state to see if you have to apply for a business license. So maybe required or maybe not. Briggs, what do you sell? What are you selling? How are you making money? What's up, Vita? Welcome back. Let me wave. Welcome back. Um, it was me. Should I begin taxes out of my work study? So that was you. Oh, that's so cool. Followed up on that question. I know I did. That was you. Um, I was just looking that up. So if you're well, if you're work study, if you're considered an employee, then yes. If you're an independent contractor, then no. I'm not 100% sure how it's set up or how even work studies are set up to begin with. When you have when so I'm reading now. It says when you are initially hired for the job, you'll be asked to complete a W-4 form. Yeah. So and this is just based off what I'm reading. I'm reading it from toptaxdefenders.com. That's why I'm reading it from right now. So it's saying right now that hey, yeah, when you get hired from your job, you're gonna have to fill out a W-4. So automatically that flags me and says, hey, you're an employee, and you should be having taxes withheld from your checks. At least Social Security and Medicare taxes, unless you marked exempt. I'm not sure if you marked exempt or not, but yeah, you're going to be considered an employee, so that means you're going to get a W-2 at the end, and that's based off what I'm reading right now. What was the selling question for me? What was the selling question? Did you ask that yesterday, Mark? Right? I'm so sorry, I didn't write it down. I feel bad. Um, yeah, Mark, if you could just ask that question again, I apologize. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry. When you said to keep the notes from Trump, what additional benefits would come from showing that? So, um, the notice itself is helpful because it tells you the exact amount that you made. So, I mean that you received. I'm sorry. It tells you the exact amount that you received. So, additional benefits that you could qualify for is let's say hey, because the numbers were based off your 2019 tax return. So let's say your 2019 tax return is above like a threshold, and you were supposed to receive a $1,200 stimulus check, but you received maybe like an $800 one or something like that. But all of a sudden in 2020, your income dropped below that threshold, which is like 70. I forget the exact, maybe like in the 70 range. I want to say 75. Let's say it dropped below that threshold. Well, then you can qualify for additional credits. Also, let's say, for example, that you had a baby in 2020, right? So remember, it went off your 2019 tax return. If your 2019 tax return was not filed, it then went off your 2018 tax return. So if you get an extra $500 for a dependent, right? So, but think about it. Coronavirus happened in 2020. It didn't happen in 2019, but the IRS had nothing to go off on because we have not filed our 2020 tax return yet. So things changed in 2020. So you may have had a baby in 2020, which allows you to qualify for additional credits, which is an additional $500. And then also, guys, another quick update. I did read that Congress has finalized a bill for the second stimulus package. I'm going to keep reading up on that, staying educated and up to date on most of that I can, because a lot of it applies to tax laws, and a lot of it is also going to apply to small business owners. And so, I'll take care of you guys here. So watch out for that, because I'm going to, keep updating on that. But that was a good question. Tough break. Thank you. You're welcome, Jocelyn. Why would you mark exempt for Social Security? So you can't mark exempt for Social Security, but you can mark exempt for your federal withholdings, so your federal tax payments. Some people marked exempt because usually they have a huge refund, and so typically if you have a huge refund and you don't want a refund, you want to as zero close as possible, you can mark exempt to really get there. Never mind, you said something, it's okay. Sorry about that, Mark Marjo. Dean, is it true in LLC with an S corp that whatever money you have in your business bank account, that'll get taxed at your money? So when you have an S corp, you're not taxed on the amount of money in your bank account. You're taxed by your net income. So you want to make sure you have your bookkeeping set up. I really strongly recommend QuickBooks for that. So you're not taxed on the amount of money you have in your bank account. you're taxed on your overall net income. Some, especially when you're an S corp, you have more like you have non-deductible expenses such as like meals or like other expenses. So you're taxed on your net income when it comes to an S corp. Do dependents get anything? So dependents themselves do not get anything. So if you can be claimed as a dependent, then no. But if you have a dependent, let's say you're claiming dependent, then yeah, you can qualify for additional credits. I still never received $500 for the first stimulus for my son. Okay, awesome. So you're going to want to claim the recovery rebate credit. So when you're working with your tax professional, you're welcome, Dean. Sorry about that. When you're working with your tax professional or using a software like TurboTax, it should help you walk through it. So let's say you miss. Let's say it's just you. You're supposed to receive $1,200, but you're also supposed to receive the extra $500. They should have gave you that extra $500, right? So you're entitled to that extra $500, so you should have received it. So when you file that tax return, you're gonna want to put down that, hey, I only received $1,200. Now that's why it was important to keep that notice 1444 that Trump signed, that it came from the White House, right? Because it just tells you that exact amount. If you don't know the exact amount, you can go through your bank records to try to find out. If you really don't know, the best option to do is to pull your transcripts from the IRS website. So everybody has an account with the IRS. You may have not logged into it, but everybody has an account with the IRS. It just asks for your personal information. You enter that in. You can access your account, and you can see all the transcripts, all the information that the IRS has on you. Do you have any financial advice for college freshmen going to the military? Awesome. Thank you for loving my hat. Thank you. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not really a financial professional, but I do know a couple of financial advisors. Definitely. Hey, man. Sorry. Thank you for loving my hat. TurboTax asked about being a victim of national declared COVID. Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of COVID relief. So anytime the president declares something as a natural disaster, then yeah. So like when there's a hurricane, right? The president may not declare like the entire states as a national disaster, but there were no certain areas. So like let's say when Hurricane Katrina happened, that was like a national disaster. So yeah, I never received the $500. Yeah, so I was getting tax taken out on unemployment benefits. Will I be okay? Well, will I be able to apply for tax this season? I was getting tax taken out of my unemployment benefits. Will I be able to apply for tax this season? Apply for tax? Like get a tax refund? You may. No, I'm not 100% if I understand the question. Can I say your skin looks good? Really? Thank you. Thanks, Mark Barjola. That means a lot. That's dope. Appreciate it. By the way, love your videos and the way you teach. Thank you so much. Thank you for the follow. Choco Quartz Life. Thank you for that info. You're welcome. Oh my gosh, I'm in tax advice. I'm sorry. Last. What was your question? Do you have any tax advice for freshmen going to the military? Awesome. I don't have any tax advice for the military. I don't have much experience in that. I wish I did. Do you know if dependents get anything for this new stimulus? Yeah, so dependents themselves don't get it, but if you have a dependents, they can qualify for. You can get additional tax credits. Yes. Where do I find good tax education? I pay for all my tax education, continue education. I'm not sure if you're a tax professional or you're just like trying to learn. If you're just trying to learn like little basics and things, YouTube's a really good start to learn about tax. I plan to start a course. Maybe I should like come up with a newsletter that you guys can join. So when I do when I come up with a course, I can just shoot you guys an email, or maybe I'll just like make a Discord or something. So yeah. Thank you either way. You're welcome. Can people with green cards get anything from stimulus they just passed? I think you have to be. Well, if you're a green card, you're pretty much, if you pass the residence, you have to pass the residence test. You have to have a substantial stay, right? It's like right here in my mind. Like, think if I wish there was another tax professional that could help me. But there's a test you have to pass, like a residency test. If you have a green card, I think it's like 3 or 5. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not going to talk about it because I would hate to give bad advice. But let me write that down because it's like on the tip of my tongue, and I want to say it, but I'm not. I just don't want to say it wrong, and like it's not like I'm scared to say it. It's just I don't want to give bad advice. That's a good question. Yeah, so I have green card stimulus check. Um, yeah, please. Yeah, so yeah, I'll do this. Hey, I've not kept up any record from. Hey, I've not kept any record from when I started my business this year. Yeah, absolutely. You can use your bank statements. If someone gets their yeah, so you can use your bank statement, but like next year get started with definitely some bookkeeping because it may take some time to go through those bank statements, but at least you know. If someone got their school paid through FAFSA or scholarship, can they still qualify for deduction credit? So yeah, but it depends. So yeah, it's possible, but it depends how much you use that grant for money, right? So let me give you an example. So let's say you got a FAFSA or you got like a some type of scholarship, right? So let's say your scholarship was, oh no. So you guys can see this? Yeah, I hate how like the ring light reflects, but that's okay. So let's say your scholarship, scholarship. Sorry, I probably butchered that, but it's all right. Oh, I didn't mirror it. Sorry, guys. Scholarship. I feel like it's tilted. Okay. Um, let's say your scholarship was $5,000. Okay. So let's say let's say your scholarship was $5,000 and your expenses were $7,000. All right. So you have a scholarship of $5,000 and your expenses are $7,000. Then yeah, you could you qualify for educational credits. Okay. So depending if you meet all the other tests because you spent more money than you received. So you only received $5,000, but your total expenses were $7,000. And I'm sorry, Instagram. Instagram doesn't allow me to flip it, or I just don't know how to flip it. But I hope you guys. I'm gonna still verbally communicate it so I can listen to them. So if you're, yeah. So the expenses, right? So now let's say your scholarship was $5,000. Okay, and let's say your expenses. Let's say your expenses was $3,000. Okay, so now the scholarship becomes income. Okay, so you have income to report of $2,000, right? So you received a scholarship of $5,000, but your expenses were only $3,000. So what did you do with the other $2,000? That's what they're going to ask, and so that's when it's considered income. So if if you receive a scholarship and your expenses are more than your scholarship amount, then yeah, you could possibly still qualify for educational credits. But let's say you receive a scholarship and your expenses is less than that scholarship amount, then you may have to report that difference as income. I hope I was able to answer that question. If I didn't, just let me know. I can run through it again. But yeah, that was a great question. Yeah, guys, if I missed your question, just please ask it again. Yeah, because I probably missed some questions. If I missed your question, just ask again, please. Gotcha. So once your classes are paid, it will take the money from their pilgrim. Yeah. So yeah. So when you receive your 1098T, it'll say on there like your expenses. So you'll get a form from your college. It's called a 1098T. If you're watching this and you're actually being proactive, you're probably taking notes. So make sure you have your pen, make sure you have your paper, because you're going to want to make sure you receive this document before you file tax return. It's called Form 1090-AT. It's going to tell you all the expenses you incurred. It's going to tell you all the expenses you paid to school. So it's going to tell if you bought books from your school, it'll tell them that. If you pay for tuition to your school, it's going to tell them that. And if the school received any scholarships or grants in your name, it's going to tell you that as well. Your responsibility is if you incur any other expenses outside that school, right? So let's say you didn't buy your books at that college, right? So you can still, you don't have to buy the books at your college to be able to deduct it. Let's say you had to buy notebooks, you had to buy pencils, you had to buy like all that. Absolutely. If you didn't buy it from college, your responsibility is make sure you track those expenses in other places. The next thing you want to make sure it's really important that you qualify for these credits. So typically we work with a tax professional using software like TurboTax. Both should do a really good job of seeing if you first qualify for the credit. If they do, then yeah, that was a great question. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Hi, Sujit. Thank you. Welcome. And remaining balance will be sent via check for direct deposit on what you chose. Yeah. Explain if I am 24 and was on my dad's taxes as a dependent. Can I still get the stimulus during taxes? Yeah. So absolutely. So once you file your tax return, you're gonna make sure you claim that recovery rebate credit, and you should be entitled to. Depending what your income was, right? It's really based on your income threshold, but yeah, absolutely. If you're no longer a dependent, if you're a recent college graduate or you're no longer a dependent, then absolutely you're entitled to that. I'm done with school. Thank you. Good luck too. I think y'all have a conversation. I work at a university and taking classes. They pay for 6 hours a semester, but I still have to buy books comp. Yeah, so you should, like I said, you should receive that 1098-T, and that will tell you all the information you need to know. Your responsibility. So if you buy books and other stuff outside of that, make sure you track those expenses because your school doesn't know that. The school is not going to know that, so it's important that you track those expenses. Does a discount? If it's required, then yeah. It's really a gray area, so it's up to you. If you want to take that risk assessment, it's really up to you. But it's typically qualified expenses. So if you go to your teacher and say, "Hey, do I need this to pass this class?" and they're like, "Yeah, you need this to pass the class," then yeah, it's qualified expense. Yeah, that's what actually we're doing with this. Is it based off my? Yeah, it's based off your 2020 income. Love your information post. Thank you so much, Cubit. GZ, can I claim any credit and taxes in my absolutely. Den Detroit. Is the rebate credit depending on 2020 income? Yes, it is. K Batalones. If I'm head of a household, a student, a small you got it going on. If I'm head of household, a student, a small business owner, and employment, how do I file my taxes? So if you're a student, you can qualify for educational credits. If you're head of household, that tells me that you have a dependent. So you make sure you want to qualify. You can qualify for additional credits like the earned income tax credit and the child tax credit if you qualify. If you're a small business owner, you're going to file Schedule C with your personal tax return. It's really important that you're tracking your income and expenses. So by small business owner, I'm hoping that you have at least a separate bank account or something like that. If you don't, it's really important that you come up with a profit and loss before the end of the year because you're going to have to file Schedule C with your personal tax return. And if you're on unemployment, you're going to receive a Form 1099-G by January 31st. So this is going to report your unemployment compensation, and it's also going to report the amount of taxes you had withheld from your unemployment. You're going to take all that together, and you're going to file Form 1040. So Form 1040 is pretty much your personal tax return. That's a great question. Because I feel like I'm going to cry this tax. Oh, no, don't cry. Don't cry. On TurboTax, will there be an option for TurboTax? I doubt that TurboTax will miss that. So I'm pretty sure TurboTax will make that pretty evident. They agreed on the passing new plan. Absolutely, they agreed. Yep, I read about that. It's awesome, right? Can you say in high pitched voice? Can we go to McDonald's? Do you think Kamala Harris is cute? I don't know who Kamala. Why did I say Campbell? Come on here. I'm not sure who that is. Let me look that up. Oh yeah, the vice president. I might not know that. Absolutely. With dependent. Yeah. If I made 18 to 20K this year, can I do the rebate credit? Absolutely. If you qualify. So you're just gonna fill out the form to see if you qualify at the well. Parents claim education credit if you're what that one made me twitch. Phobis. Can parents claim education credit if you're claimed? So your parents can claim an education credit on you. If they claim you, they can claim the education credit. How will income tax work this year? It's going to be really different. Everything has not been finalized yet. So as things start to become updated, as more things start to become finalized, I'll definitely make more videos and continue to update you guys. Absolutely. Geez, with working remotely, I had to buy a desktop comp. Can I claim this? So if you're an employee, if you're a W-2 employee, unfortunately, no. Hopefully they come out with some new regulation for you guys that, yeah, you can. If you're a self-employed business owner, yeah, run that. Deduct that. Write that desk off. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Do you assist with tax preparation? Yes, I do. And if you're interested in that, just use the link in my bio, fill out that form, and we can set up a time to talk. If I can't reach you, definitely one of my colleagues can. What form do I fill out for the rebate credit? It's form, I believe it's form 7202. Let me look that up. No, form 7202 is for the self-employed sick credit. It may be a, I think the recovery rebate credit is a worksheet, actually. I think I have it. Yeah. So here it is. The recovery, I have it right here. It's gonna be a worksheet. It's a recovery rebate worksheet, line 30. This is what it looks like. Recovery rebate credit. So how it works is, So yeah, it's gonna be a worksheet that you fill out. It's not a form. So whatever tax professional you're using or your software, they're gonna, and this is a draft form pretty much, but they're pretty much gonna put this form into like their website and or however you fill out your taxes and ask you the same questions. They're probably just gonna try to make it as simple as possible. They'll ask you the same questions and it should pop up for it. Yeah. Yeah, that was a great question. Thank you for making everything so easy. You're welcome. That's kind of my goal, to make this as easy as possible. Do homeowners get any kind of rebate credit this year? No, not that I know of. Hopefully they'll come up with that soon. You're fantastic, and I found this super helpful. You're welcome. That's what I'm here to do for you guys. Let's dedicate this part of my day to help you guys as much as possible. I understand tax can be very stressful, and I do kind of know a little bit about it. So if I'm able to communicate any of that education to y'all guys, I'm all down for it. If there's something that you guys ask and I just don't know, I write it in my book, and I review it either this night or before I go to sleep or the next day. And you just come back, and it's kind of one of the first things I do the next day. If I don't, because I just don't know everything. And if I don't, I'll just figure it out. Yeah, hi, just saw your vid on my feed. Oh, welcome you for the For You page. Welcome, Hardy. How you liking it so far? I mean, what do you think? What's your first impression? You should run for president. I will vote for you. Really, guys? I should run for president? Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious. Could you imagine me as president? Oh, it's funny. Since I work online, can I? But thank you. Hey, man, sorry, thank you. Since I work online, can I deduct my phone bill, internet? Um, it depends. If you're a W-2 employee, probably not. Uh, Unfortunately, they got rid of that deduction after Tax Cares and Jobs Act. But if you're self-employed, absolutely. So that's why it's really important that, hey, if you have a hobby or something that you're doing or something that you enjoy doing, that you make that hobby into a business. Okay. So when you have a business, you can start to deduct a percentage of your, Wi-Fi, your phone bill. That's when it really starts jumping into it. So start a business. Also, I have a question. If I buy a MacBook now and I start school, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard to determine because. So the question is, if I buy a MacBook now and I start school in January, can I claim that education credit? It's gonna be really hard to prove that because in order for it to be a qualified education expense, it's gonna be required. It has to be required, and for you to know what is actually required and what's not, you actually have to start the class. Typically, your teacher will give you like a syllabus. You read through that syllabus, they'll tell you what's required. Typically, I'm not sure if it says blatantly, hey, go get a computer. I'm not sure if it says that, but typically your teacher said, hey, you'll need a computer, you'll need internet, you need access to this. So it's going to be really hard. Now, it's going to be really hard to prove that deduction if you don't even know what's qualified or not, right? What if they mail you everything? Here you go. And your homework, I want you to mail it back. You're like, no, this teacher tripping, right? So 99.9% that won't happen. But I'd rather you take this education credit with confidence. I'd rather take you this educated credit like how it's meant to be taken, right? Not like the book away, like, hey, we qualify for this. We're gonna take this, right? We have facts to prove it. We're gonna take it with confidence. The last thing you want to do is take an education credit or take any type of refundable tax credit and be like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't find out. And now you're thinking about it for the next 3-4 years, and you get a letter in the mail because they will send you a notice if they come up with it. So that's the last thing you want. The less stress in our life that we have, the better our life's going to be. So I'd rather just wait. Let's take the education credit next year, and I believe that's the best way to go. That would be my recommendation. School be online. Accounting purposes, self-employed. Accounting. Oh, yeah. Then absolutely. Nerdy. A lot of people tax bracket will be different this year. So if you haven't had that much taken out, did you have a follow-up? Would you still get a refund? Depends about how much you actually make. So I know the tax bracket would be different, but that your income remain consistent. That's a really big deal. If your income dropped, then maybe if your income dropped and your withholdings, the amount you came out remained the same, that's possible that your refund could be bigger. But if your income dropped, you had no withholdings, that question is really hard to answer without more information. I need to know like how much did you make, how much are your withholdings, and all of that. Did you have any other income? Did you make distributions from a retirement account? So there's a lot to go into that for that question. Can I claim Wi-Fi bill for education credit? I wouldn't. Would you still get a refund? Bit bad, and how much will it be a stimulus package? So they're talking about $600. Said Autumn, what's a W-9 for? Who needs to fill that out? So that's a great question. So a W-9. Let's talk about that. So a W. So there's two type of W forms in this world. There's two type of W forms. So you're gonna have a. All right. So let me just put this down the middle. So on this side we have W4. On this side we have W9. Okay. So if you get a W9, you're considered an independent, independent contractor. Okay, you're an independent contractor. If you receive a W4, you're considered an employee. Okay, so W9. W4, you're an employee. W9, you're an independent contractor. Okay. So with the independent contractor, there's no taxes withheld from payments. So there's no taxes withheld from payments if you're a W9 independent contractor. Okay, so let me adjust this because it looks like that light's all funky. Okay, so let me just bring this closer. So I hope this makes sense. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so if you're W9, there's no taxes. There's no taxes withheld from payments. Okay, so if you're W4, taxes withheld. Okay, withheld. Sorry, guys, I am not the best speller, but I can do numbers pretty good. Okay, so taxes withheld, right? But also, when you're W9, you get tax write-offs, right? So you get write-offs. You get write-offs. If you're a W2, you get no write-offs. Okay. So for people who just joined real quick, I'm explaining the difference between if you receive a W9 or a W4. If you receive a W9, you're considered an independent contractor. If you receive a W4, you're considered an employee. If you are an independent contractor, that means no taxes are withheld from your checks or your payments. If you're an employee, taxes are withheld. But if you're an independent contractor, you get to take write-offs. If you're an employee, you don't get to take write-offs. And then lastly, if you're an independent contractor, you're going to file Schedule C. Okay? You're going to file Schedule C. If you're an employee, you're just going to file a regular 1040. All right? And so you're going to file Schedule C, then a 1040. Okay? And 1040 is your personal tax return. Okay? So a Schedule C is just a schedule to that tax return. That makes sense. Yeah. So that was a great question. So that's the difference between a W9 and a W4. Hope that answers your question. You're welcome. What's the difference between a W2? Okay, that's a great question. So you see this right here? Okay, so let me go right here. Okay, so now remember everything I just said. All right, so remember everything I just said. So W9, all this, right? So now employees do not get write-offs, but independent contractors do. At the end of the year, an independent contractor is going to receive a 1099. Okay. At the end of the year, an employee is going to receive a W2. Okay. The W2 gets reported on their personal tax return, which is the 1040. The 1099 gets reported on a Schedule C, right? So 1099 is going to report the income, the total income you made. So on Schedule C, you're going to report that total income from the 1099, and you're also going to report your write-offs. So, right? So you report your income and your write-offs, and then you're going to report your 1040. So the difference between a W-4 and a W-2 is a W-4 is a form you first fill out. It's you giving your employer your information. You're pretty much telling them like, hey, this is my name, this is my address, this is my social security number, and this is how much I want you to withhold for my taxes. Your employer then takes that W-4 to determine how many taxes they're going to withhold from your checks. At the end of the year, they're going to issue a W-2 with that same amount. Yeah. Thanks for the money bag. You're welcome. Thank you. Said you're welcome. Armilla, Flora Love. Hey, what's up? What's poppin'? What up? So if I work part-time at an AC eating company and work for myself, would I file twice W-9? Absolutely. Yep. So you wouldn't file twice. You're not going to file twice. You're going to report it on the same. You're going to report it on the same tax return. So you see where. You see how you. I want you to nerdy. I want you to go back to your question. You see in parentheses how you put W-9 and W-2. It's actually going to be a 1099 in W-2. So remember the remember W-4 and W-9, they go together. W-2 and 1099s go together. So at the end of the year, you're not going to receive a W-9, you're going to receive a 1099. So you're going to take that 1099 and you're going to file a Schedule C. Okay, so just think about this like this. Okay, so we have this. All right, we have this. Okay. So the form that everybody fills out, every person that files a tax return is 1040. Everybody fills out a 1040, right? 1040. And on one part, it's going to ask for your wages, right? So it's going to be it's going to ask your wages. This is where you're going to put your AC, your job, your income in there, okay? So now let's say you got that 1099 and you're like, okay, well, I need to report this. I don't need to report all the income, but I need to report the income and expenses. Okay, well, we don't have enough room on the 1040 to do it because we're going to have advertising, we're going to have miles, we're going to talk about the home office deduction, we're going to write off the cell phone, we're going to write off your laptop, we're going to write off your car. There's all these things we can write off. And we do not have enough room, right? We don't have enough room to do it on the 1040. So what do? We file a separate schedule, okay? Let's just call it Schedule C. Okay, a Schedule C gives us more room to take those deductions, right? So at Schedule C, you're going to put your 1099 income, okay? You're going to put your 1099 income, then we're going to put your expenses, all right? And at the bottom of that Schedule C, we're going to put your income on this. We're going to put your income on expenses. All right, we're going to put your income on Schedule C. And at the bottom of the Schedule C, we're going to take the total income, your total amount of money you made, and we're going to subtract it by your total expenses, right? So you're going to add up all your expenses, right? So let's say this right here is all your expenses. I know the marker's right now. Let's say this right here is all your expenses, and the squiggly line, that's your total expenses, right? So let's say your total expenses is $1,000. And your total income is $2,000. All right. So in this little box, we're going to put your net income, which is the total amount of money you made, $2,000, minus all your expenses, and that's going to be $1,000. Okay. So now we're going to put that on a 1040. Hey, we're going to put our 1099. So you're going to file it all together. You're going to file it all together. You just use that separate Schedule C to help you figure out that with the exact amount of taxes you're going to pay, because we just don't have enough room to put it all in 1040. So just think of Schedule C as a separate paper to help you determine what that amount will be. That was a great question. I live in California. Should I have to pay the state from the entrances? It's possible. You'll get it to 99G. Thanks, man. Your content is fantastic. Do you ever Cover Schedule F. I have not. I can, but I have not. There's not too many Schedule Fs. That's it. If people don't know, Schedule F is like for farm and fishing. What form did we? Okay, then good. My phone died when you were looking up what form to use for the rebate tax credit. Yeah, so for the rebate tax credit, it's going to be a worksheet. So this is the I've already printed it out. I've already gone through it. I've already practiced how to do it. So that's how I know how the credit works, because I've already filled it out. Now this is draft; it's not finalized. So if you work with a tax professional or you use a software like TurboTax, they should be able to ask you the same questions and help you figure it out, the rebate tax credit. But thanks for coming back after your phone died. I'm still here, and let's say if I wasn't here, like I just went off live too, I'll be back tomorrow. So I would be able to cover your question again within 24 hours. You're welcome. Yeah, great questions. No questions on Facebook. No questions on TikTok. I mean YouTube. I threw away a letter for the stimulus check. Yeah, okay. So really, the importance of that letter is to determine the amount. So if you know how much your stimulus amount was made, well, that's what you're just going to enter that number in when you file your tax return. So if you know the amount of money your stimulus check was, no worries. Just enter that amount. Don't worry about it. But if you second guess yourself, go to your bank account, figure out that number, or go pull up your transcript from your account if you doubt that exact amount of money. Chill. If I have an LLC sole proprietorship, can I pay my son the $12,000? So yeah, there's a way to do it. You definitely want to make sure you go about the right way. Make sure you hire him as an employee. Make sure you're giving him legitimate job duties. So if you're paying your son $12,000 a year, it better be a lot of. He's better be putting in some work, pretty much. But yeah, it's definitely possible. Yo, I found this TikTok. Love it. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you so much. Can you write off personal exemption on W-2 and will qualify for a stimulus check? So there's no personal exemptions anymore. And what qualifies for the stimulus check is if your income's under the threshold, which is like $75,000. And I forget the exact number, so don't quote me on it. If your income is below the threshold, and yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. But if you have an additional dependency to qualify for more, okay. What time tomorrow? So I'm live every day at 8 p.m. Central Time. Every day at 8 p.m. Central Time. Yep. Y'all catch me here live. Cool. I didn't know this. So I've already been. So in this, typically, guys, the lives I use in my lives when like the questions just run out, or at 9 o'clock, whichever happens first. So if I see like the questions just going down, then yeah, I'll just end the live from there, or 9 o'clock. So right now it's 8:48. So yeah. Is there any way we can support you more? Yeah. My YouTube. I'm trying to take that to the next level. So if you guys can just, subscribe, go comment on my most recent videos. Every live that I have, I'll repost it on YouTube as well. So that'll mean a lot. I'm really trying to work on my YouTube. That'll mean a lot. What is the cutoff age for dependent for a stimulus check? 17 or young, or under age 18. They're no longer considered a qualified child. Hi, I'm from California. What up, California? What up? What could you write off with the W-2? So there's no employees. Unfortunately, nothing. You could in the past, but unfortunately, you can't anymore. Hey, what's up? But yeah, that was a great question. Whoa, I thought. Yeah, I didn't know I could sing too, huh? Yeah. All right, cool. Any more questions? Thank you for the info. Thank you for following, and thank you for joining these lives. I do this for you guys. So you're the man. Thank you so much. I feel like still going to jail. I feel like still going to go to jail. Well, why would you want to go to jail? What are your questions? How hard is it to find a tax person to do this or know that knows is, um, I don't know. It could take some time. I'm not the best. There's people who's way better than me. They're just not on social media. I learn from them a lot. I aspire to be like them someday. So you could probably find someone really good in your area. Maybe they just don't use social media. Maybe you haven't found them. But yeah, I try to be the best that I can be. I'm always trying to stay updated with tax laws and so forth. So yeah, and I enjoy this. That's the whole part. I'm not like, oh my god, I gotta do this live again. Dang, I gotta go live again. Dang, I just got off live. No, it's every day for me. I enjoy it. I love it. If you put yes for your song, yeah, you good. Where are you located? I'm located in Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas. If you put no, get ready for a drop tip. Yeah, possibly. Woo. Yeah, live. So guys, live every day, 8 p.m. Central Time on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Can I hire you even though you're absolutely? So I have clients like nationwide in several different states. So yeah, you can hire me even if you're from another state. I got you. Sometimes so you can, if you want to claim it, if let's say you pay for it with your personal and you want to claim it for your business. Well, what you want to do is transfer that amount from your business to your personal and put a memo like, hey, you're pretty much going to reimburse yourself. That's what it's called. You're reimbursing yourself for the expense you incurred. Because you accidentally use your personal account when you should have used your business account, right? So ideally what you want to do, if you want to make a business expense and maybe you don't have enough money in your business account, but you have enough money in your personal account, you're going to want to move money from your personal account to your business account. But let's say you already incurred that transaction, like you already swiped it, it's already taken care of. Well, you want to reimburse yourself. So you want to take money out your business account and move it to your personal account in that same amount. And then in that memo, you're going to want to put what it was for. So that way we can actually see the expense in the business bank account. So it's going to be subtracted in the same amount, right? So it's still tracked the same way. That way we can see that expense when we look at the business bank account. I missed most of the bits, but this is a loophole basically, and for non-business art as well. It's not a loophole, but if you miss most of the bit, it's reposted on YouTube. If they weren't employed in 2019 but was employed in 2018, it's still gonna. I think I missed the question. I lost a stimulus letter. What should I do? So good question, Angie. If you can remember that amount, that's what's important. If you can remember that amount, that's what's important. So if you receive 1,200, we'll put 1,200. If you receive 1,700, put 1,700. If you cannot remember that amount, that's what that letters are for. So what you should do, go through your bank statements so you can find that exact amount, or you want to log into your IRS account. Everybody has an IRS account, right? So you can, pull your transcripts, everything the IRS has on you, and you can log into your account and see what that exact amount was. So that's what's where they go. Yeah, I just got a new subscriber on YouTube. Yeah, guys, if you want to support me, please subscribe to my YouTube. I love when you guys leave comments on my YouTube videos too. That helps out a lot. Appreciate it. You're welcome. Do we have to pay back the tax? No, you don't have to pay back any money on your stimulus. That's yours, baby. Don't let no one else touch it. I said if they get unemployment, if they got unemployment and was employed in 2018, but not saying how do we file taxes? You would still file the same. So I'm not 100% even sure. If they got unemployment and was employed into, you would still file the same because it's based off your year. So let's say, well, hopefully they filed it. So if they got unemployment and was employed. So if you were employed in 2018, you should have filed a tax return in 2018, stating that employment income. If you were worked in 2019, you should have. If you were employed, you should have reported that income. Now, say in 2020, you weren't employed and you received unemployment compensation, well, you're going to get a 1099-G, and you're mailed by January 31st, and that's how you're going to report that. Yeah. But stimulus check be counted as income? No. I would put it in as a loan for my personal bank. A loan, unless you have to pay back. No, yeah. No. Thank you. You do remember that's what's important. Thank you. I do remember. What's your YouTube channel? My YouTube is Duke Loves Taxes. It's also in my bio. And it's also on the Instagram icon. If you guys can subscribe to that, leave me a comment, just say, "Hey, dude, I love your live. It was so cool." I appreciate it. Thank you for the information you share. You're welcome. So now we're basically something most people do. Don't. Yeah. So you're talking about like loans to an officers, and that's something a little bit more advanced. Um, Typically, you'll see that maybe like in like an S corp or like a corporation, maybe a partnership. Gotcha. Thank you. What is the purpose of the CARES Act loans for small businesses? So you're talking about the PPP, or so the purpose of the CARES Act is just to pretty much just keep the businesses going, because there's been a lot of relief out. So it's for businesses and regular people too. Yeah. I just bought a house. What can I write off? Property taxes, real estate taxes, things like that. Yeah. Do you watch the Man? Let me look that up. Okay. Man. Uh, no, I've not watched it. No. What month should we start filing our taxes? As soon as possible. You should at least prepare as soon as possible so you know how much you owe, and you have to April to pay it off. That's the cool thing about it. If you're going to owe. What's a Roth IRA? A Roth IRA, that's a retirement savings account. So it allows you. So you pay taxes. So let's say right here, like in this example, right? Let's say our total net income was $1,000. Well, we'll pay taxes right now, but we can put that $1,000 into a Roth IRA, and then we can let it grow. So it grows just like a tree would. Just like if you plant a seed, a tree grows, it grows just like that. The only thing about it, you don't have to pay taxes on the money you take out. Okay. Guys, 9 o'clock is getting close, so you got some more questions, push them in there. Other than that, I'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time, same time. Same time, baby. Same. Go. Y'all who still feels like they're going to jail because it's Turkey's about to episode. Guys, you're not going to jail. You'll be okay. Just join my lives, man. Am I not doing a good job explaining? Just let me know. Let me know, buddy. And just ask your question, man. If I don't know them, I get to them. But I'm going to do my best to keep you out of jail. If you just follow my advice and follow my guidance, you're going to be okay. Okay? If you feel like you're going to jail, that means I am doing a bad job. And I don't want to feel like I'm doing a bad job. So just ask your questions. And I'll take care of them. Add money to invest. What type of account should I open? Invest time. I'm not 100% sure on the accounts, but if you want help with that, just send me a message, and I know some excellent financial advisors who's able to give you better advice. If I have stocks but did not sell any, do I claim them? No, you don't have to claim them. Is Roth IRA before better than a 401k? It depends about what your situation is. In that situation, you really want to work with a financial advisor, which I know great ones. So yeah. It's my first year reporting taxes. What should I bring with me? And then all your other forms should be mailed to you in the mail. So yeah, that's a great question, Mary J. You're doing an awesome job, bro. Thank you. I'm just okay, cool. What is tax delinquent? That means when you probably owe taxes, so you probably and they know. But if you're not compliant, the IRS requires you to be in order to be compliant with the IRS, you have to have your at least 6 years return filed. Okay, guys, so it's getting up on 9 o'clock. Gonna wrap this up. Y'all kept me talking the whole time. I had no dull moment where we were just sitting there looking at shit awkwardly like, oh my God, what is he talking about? What's he saying? So I appreciate you guys being so active tonight. It was really cool. I'll be back tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time, to answer you guys' questions. If I missed any, let me know. Make sure you write them down, bring them back tomorrow. I write down the questions that I do not know. So I write down the questions I don't know, and I'll follow back up with you guys tomorrow. So the only question I have is the green card If you have a green card, you still qualify for a stimulus check. That's the only question I have for tomorrow. And I'll be back tomorrow. So yeah. And seduction now, you missed it. So the replay is gonna be on YouTube. If you want to catch it there, guys, if you ever want to like show me like cool support, and if you appreciate this, please subscribe to my YouTube. Go go like it. Go drop some comments that hey, you came from my live, and tell me what you think about it there. Unfortunately, I can't put these lives on TikTok. Otherwise, I would love to see it there. But they are reposted on YouTube, so you can leave your review of how you thought I did this live. Even if I did a bad job, I just want your honest opinion. How can I improve? How can I get better? It's all about doing this for you guys. So if you could just leave some type of feedback on a YouTube video, I would appreciate that a lot. So I'm gonna make sure I end that now on the YouTube, and I will be back tomorrow for you guys.